Imagine buying a car that promises cutting-edge technology, incredible fuel efficiency, and eco-friendly performance. You drive it, you feel proud, you tell your friends it's green. But behind the shiny badge on the front, something sinister is happening. Something that betrays not just you, but millions of drivers worldwide. This was the reality in 2015 when the Volkswagen emissions scandal, also known as Dieselgate, exploded across the globe. It all began quietly in the labs and roads of the United States. The Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, discovered that Volkswagen had installed software in their diesel engines specifically designed to cheat emissions tests. These defeat devices allowed the car to detect when it was being tested and adjust performance to meet legal NOx limits. But in real-world driving, the cars were pumping out up to 40 times more NOx than allowed. Volkswagen had deployed this software in around 11 million cars worldwide, including 500,000 in the United States, spanning model years 2009 to 2015. The revelation shocked regulators, customers, and investors alike, and it would cost the company tens of billions of dollars. The first clues: how the deception was uncovered. The story starts with research, not scandal. In 2013, the International Council on Clean Transportation, or ICCT, funded the West Virginia University Center for Alternative Fuels, Engines and Emissions, or WVU-CAFE, to test diesel vehicles on real roads in California. Their goal was simple: see if the emissions cars produced in real-life driving matched what the labs claimed. The results were alarming. 2 out of 3 tested vehicles from Volkswagen emitted far more NOx than permitted. When ICCT shared the data with the California Air Resources Board and the EPA, the warning signs were clear. Something was seriously wrong. By September 2015, the EPA officially announced that Volkswagen had violated the Clean Air Act. The world watched as regulators began investigations across multiple countries. The company's stock price fell sharply, executives resigned, and the public learned a devastating truth: Volkswagen had deliberately cheated environmental laws. The technology behind the lies. To understand the scale of the deception, you need to know a little about diesel engines. Diesel cars generally produce less carbon dioxide than gasoline cars, but they release far more NOx, a pollutant linked to respiratory problems and environmental damage. Regulators in the US and Europe had set strict NOx limits, and car manufacturers were under pressure to comply. Volkswagen initially planned to use Mercedes' urea-based BlueTech system to cut emissions, but it was expensive, bulky, and complicated. For smaller models like the Golf or Jetta, engineers instead developed the lean NOx trap system, a cheaper alternative. Unfortunately, it didn't work well. Cars either consumed more fuel or emitted more pollution. By around 2006, Volkswagen chose to program its engine control unit to switch between modes, one for high fuel efficiency with high NOx emissions and one for testing compliance. This software ensured the cars would pass lab tests while breaking the law on real roads, a classic defeat device. Volkswagen marketed these cars as clean diesel, winning awards and gaining tax incentives. The 2009 Volkswagen Jetta diesel sedan, for instance, was hailed as Green Car of the Year, an award later rescinded. The scope of the scandal. From 2009 onward, Volkswagen rolled out turbocharged direct-injection diesel engines worldwide. The technology was praised for precision fuel delivery and excellent fuel economy, which allowed VW to meet corporate average fuel economy requirements in the US. But it came at a hidden cost. The engine's NOx emissions in daily driving far exceeded legal limits. The EPA's investigation revealed that the software could detect steering wheel position, vehicle speed, engine operation and barometric pressure to determine when a car was on a testing dynamometer. In real-world conditions, NOx emissions soared up to 40 times the legal limit, and Volkswagen's environmental claims were nothing more than a carefully engineered lie. Warnings ignored, years of missed opportunities. Volkswagen's deceit didn't happen overnight. In fact, warnings had existed for nearly 2 decades. In 1998, Swedish researchers criticized testing standards for failing to reflect real driving conditions. U.S. engineers also built a road testing system called Rover in the 1990s, but it was abandoned despite early evidence of discrepancies. By 2011, the European Commission confirmed that on-road NOx emissions from diesel vehicles were far higher than lab results. In 2013, the Commission warned that electronic sensors in vehicles could detect test conditions, allowing defeat devices to bypass emissions regulations. Despite these early alerts, Volkswagen proceeded. The moment of exposure. The EPA officially served Volkswagen a notice of violation on September 18, 2015, targeting vehicles sold in the U.S. from 2009 to 2015. The cars, including the Jetta, Passat, and multiple Audi models, had illegal software installed to cheat emissions tests. Almost immediately, Volkswagen admitted to manipulating emissions tests after being confronted with evidence. CEO Martin Winterkorn initially resisted stepping down, claiming he was unaware of wrongdoing, but by September 25, 2015, he resigned. Volkswagen Group America CEO Michael Horn was blunt, stating, "We've totally screwed up. Our company was dishonest with the EPA and the California Air Resources Board." Volkswagen ultimately announced that 11 million cars worldwide were affected, with billions of dollars allocated to recalls and legal settlements. The scandal's cost was staggering. Volkswagen agreed to spend 16.2 billion euros, around $18.3 billion at the time, to address the crisis. By June 2016, the company settled civil charges in the U.S. for up to $14.7 billion, and in 2017 pleaded guilty to criminal charges. A U.S. federal judge fined Volkswagen $2.8 billion for rigging emissions tests. Executives faced criminal charges, and the scandal prompted governments and consumer groups worldwide to demand accountability. By 2020, the total cost of fines, penalties, settlements, and buybacks reached $33.3 billion. The repercussions extended beyond Volkswagen. Studies revealed that other diesel vehicles, from Volvo to Fiat, also emitted far more NOx than reported. Discussions about regulatory oversight, the ethics of software in cars, and public scrutiny of automotive technology gained global attention. The CO2 and 3-liter diesel revelations. Volkswagen's problems didn't stop with NOx.